Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I am your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, I was doing a lot of digging, and actually, I was doing absolutely no digging. I was just doing my job and researching. And I found some things on CTU, and I want to get started with that. I'm pulling it up as we speak. That's why I'm pausing. Basically, it is talking about examining Maslow's hierarchy need theory in social media adoption. Now, it's not that long, but it's long enough. It's 12 pages, full pages. It's not like it's no pages, full pages. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to read, summarize, read, summarize. And that is, yeah, yeah. Let's connect you guys. Scroll back up here. Okay. I was about to say, TikTok, what's going on? Okay. Now we're going here. Here it is, you guys. Here it is. 12 full pages. I'm going to take some notes on this. If I find something that is not just challenging, but questionable, and feel like it's needed to research, I'm going to research, and I see a lot in that. So wow. Make sure you call everyone to come on here. And if you want to see and follow what I'm doing, follow me at the Kimberly Cloud Show 39. And that is on Facebook, YouTube, and KCS Experience. And I think it's the KCS Experience 84 on X. And it's the Kimberly Cloud Show 84 on, or Kimberly Cloud 84 on Rumble. However, I think it's most likely the Kimberly Cloud Show. Let me tell you the exact things. The Kimberly Cloud Show 39. I know that's 39. There we go. And this is just the Kimberly Cloud Show. I didn't put a 39. I don't think I could put numerical value on LinkedIn. And then the Kimberly Cloud Show, like I said, 39 um, on YouTube, the Kimberly Cloud Show on Twitch, KCS Experience 84 on X, the Kimberly Cloud Show 39 on Instagram. Um, the Kimberly Cloud Show 84 on Rumble. Like I said, the Kimberly Cloud. This is just a restream, and on Kick, it's Kimberly C 1984. So they're different. So if it was, I can, I wish I could. That doesn't spell the Kimberly Cloud Show. Some are the numerical word count is different. So yeah, trying to remember them all. So yeah, there we go. So let's get started. Examining Maslow hierarchy, need theory, and social media adoption. Hi, Jackie's Fisher, I think your name is. Hi. And these are the two authors right there. Let's try to pronounce their name. Sanchita Gaitak, Sarah He Sign G. I hope I said that right. Abstract. Social behavior. This is why I'm reading it very carefully, because I have to write an abstract. And an abstract is basically, before I read it, a summary of what the 12 pages will be about and what it's about. So you have to choose your carefully paid paragraph. This is about 2 paragraphs, 2 full paragraphs. So it goes: social behavior of customers receive a sideline in social media. And the focus appears to be persistent on lead, conversions, and engagement. True. The psychology of customers is a significant element in the study of social media adoption. So what we're dealing with is the definition of the mental health of customers is a huge element to social media adoption, which is very true. I could go over what customers I know will pay, what customers I don't know. However, I don't do that. I could easily do that. But I want to give everybody a chance, whether they don't want to pay or they want to pay. I give them that option because everybody has a story. So my social media adoption, you have to know, and I'm not super intelligent at this, but I know enough. Maslow's theory in the hierarchy, which is basic needs and a sense of belonging, sex, everything you can think of that life we are scared of losing till we reach self actualization. So his hierarchy of needs describes the urge for strong desires after an individual's lower level is satisfied. The study attempts to examine and map the linkages of Maslow's hierarchy with social media adoption. So now you got basic needs like money, how am I going to get money? Well, you got Cash App, you got I don't want to name banks, but you got that apps now. Um, how would I take care of my family? When you talk to your family, y'all no longer contact each other via payphones and beepers. You contact people using your highly intelligent smartphone. The study is quantitative, which is numbers, quality, and descriptive, which you can say that's it's numbers and it's descriptive, which is qualitative, right? It's okay. I ain't even gonna go that deep. I'm not gonna go that deep. I'm just gonna listen to what y'all say. You're the navigator. The whole team of this paper is the navigator. Descriptive could be qualitative though. The responses from sample size from the we're in statistics. The the responses from the sample size of 287 were collected using structured a questionnaire. Oh, they kind of messed that up. Using a structured questionnaire. I love it when they do that because it lets me know that this is really authenticity. EFA was performed. What is EFA? Hold up. We didn't even get to talk. EFA, wait, hold on. That's question one. And then the next question, go back. EFA was performed to identify and map the items relating to each levels of hierarchy. CFA was conducted to find the goodness to fit. The findings suggest that the theory of Maslow fits well with the proposed social media adoption model. So the EFA is identifying and mapping items related to the level. The CFA is the goodness to fit. The findings suggest that theories of Maslow fits well with the proposed social media adoption model. The results revealed that social media adoption follows Maslow's uh, hierarchy of needs theory. Finding a roadmap to identify and map the items and conducting a goodness to fit. They propose that social media adoption model fits well with Maslow's theory. So the results finally revealed that social media adoption, which EFA was performed to identify and map the items, and CFA was the goodness of the fit. These two things reveal that social media adoption follows Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. The study may be carried out for a scale development for evaluating intentions and reasons for social media usage. So, what are your intentions? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it what is it? The companies can make use of the suggested model in the study for launching their various marketing campaigns. Keywords: Maslow's hierarchy, social media, psychology, and engagement. Let's get started. Social media platforms give rise to the plethora of opportunities for the individual and the organizations since its emergence in 2001. The past, and remember Y2K, which was a year prior. I don't even want to get into Y2K. The past literature review had the mention of consumer behavior of social media users. But FYI, it's 9/11. FYI, if you do your math right. 9/11 is a huge symbolic number. You know, I have to represent numbers because I love numbers. I love numbers. But I put it to you like this to get started on another whirlwind adventure. What's 9 plus 11? What's 9 plus 2? It's just crazy. So, the past literature review had the mention of consumer behavior and social media users. Good. Let's talk about the consumer behavior, the buyer's behavior of social media users. There were studies in the past on social media based on their values and branding. So, what values? I admit I apologize to you guys. I was talking about, because y'all just trying to do the right things. As long as I don't see no, you know, Scarface items out on the table, which AI wouldn't even allow it to get that far, but some mini Scarface stuff. I'm good, but you got people based on values, and what are you about? Are you wearing Daisy Dukes? I just dress comfortably. Let me just be honest. It depends on what day and how I'm feeling. I have that right. I'm a grown woman. I love myself. However, there's a time and a place. you know um and it's like, what are your values? Are you educating people in your branding? Do you got money to back that up? How do you brand yourself? The study of the history research has found that individuals with a high score of sociability, sort of like socialites, will have a significant amount of Facebook friends. Let me be honest. Facebook is a tough account. I've looked at the highest of the highest people that get play on NBC, people that get play. And I say to myself, they get like 10 likes and they got like thousands of followers, like hundreds of thousands. Damon John, one of them. He has a slot. I don't know if he's still doing Shark Tank, but he has Shark Tank. I spoke with Damon John before, briefly for free. Let me tell you a story behind that. He was working heavily with Mark Zuckerberg at a time. And so, and I apologize to him, just mental health. But I put it to you like this. I was at a shelter because this is of importance. I was at a battered women's shelter in the worst neighborhoods where you heard gunfire from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Like they got a job doing that. And so I'm sitting up there in the middle of the bubble and in the outside dark, it's dark outside, and I'm slunched over on a picnic table, a plastic picnic table. And what happens? Damon John comes on randomly. So I'm like, I gotta watch this. I was really starting to see. I think, I don't know if he liked my status before he had me up on there, but he always supported me, and I gotta give him that. He's another successful Black man. And I started liking, just like this guy, Mr. Daddy Brew, started liking my status heavily, like just liking it over and over because I really was feeling it. It wasn't about getting attention. It was 2 million people on there, and it was random, and it wasn't saved work. It was 2 million people. They were doing new stuff for Facebook, and it was on his page. And I was just liking it and liking it and liking it. And all of a sudden, because he already said the rules, which was he can call anyone of at any time. And nobody was really liking nothing. And I'm like, this is sick. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Kimberly Cloud, how are you today? I said to my head, in my head, oh my God, did he just call my name? And I go, and then the devil happens. These women start making noise, but just enough to annoy me. So I'm like, how you doing? You know? Oh, hold up. Hold up. Oh, how to do this. Hold on. I have to call them back on that note. But let me check my messages on oh, I can't check my messages. She did send me another letter. Um Hold on, y'all. I'm not getting off of here, but let me finish explaining my story. So he goes, how you doing? I'm like, how you doing? Hold on. I know someone wrote me. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. I think it's next week, June 9th. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. It's okay. So that was important, but I'm in the middle of doing it. But let me explain this real quick. Let me write her back. Okay, there we go. So I had to write Patricia from CTU, and then someone called me, and they call me weekly. If that's I just wanna be sure. So like I was saying, let me take this. So like I was saying, I sat up there and I was like, "How you doing?" And he's like, "So tell me about your business, Miss Cloud." And I was like, "I have Blue Cloud Cleaning." I was grossing, which is chump change to him. He do 500,000 to $1 million for a 30-minute show. That's him, and I'm getting free intel from him. And so I'm like, I have Blue Cloud Cleaning. I'm grossing like $80,000 a year, but I broke up with my husband, and da, 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 da. And this is only a 3-minute conversation, and I'm going into detail and shit, talking about, well, my license plate number is XYZKU. You know, no, I'm just kidding. I didn't go into too much detail, but I sounded like I had an attitude. It really made me mad when I finally listened to the tape, like a little later before it disappeared. I was so mad with myself, but I was like, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it because it's like, come on now, like some people can be very evil, man. And I was doing interviews in that shelter. I was doing interviews in that shelter. And a day before I was supposed to fly to go to California, they kicked me out. So I slept out in a hospital parking lot and drove 2 hours to the airport in the morning, which that was when the flood happened. The big flood, the big flood that flooded all of Philadelphia. I went the back road. Had I took the highways, I would have been trapped. And I was partially trapped because it was debris all in the road. And I had to literally, I got pulled over by the cops, not because of drugs or anything, but in the middle of nowhere. It's still dark outside, and I only find out that there was a flood after I'm in California. And that's when someone came to Philadelphia. It was a big artist coming to Philadelphia, a Democratic artist. I think it was Doja Cat, but it didn't. I don't think it happened. Um, yeah, it was like a lot. You see how God works? You could say that's one miracle. It happened again. I forgot where. Alaska. I don't want to go no further. I have so much to talk about, but to get back to the story, Damon John spoke with me, and he was working with Facebook closely. Social media ensures brand loyalty and customers. Yes, people sell so many items on there. The study found that controlled, I love that word, controlled functioning of social web page. The study found the controlled functioning of social web page. And then they got their name. So What is it? This control functioning. The owners of the web pages have complete control. Yes. Social media adoption depends on multiple factors such as customer needs, values it offers, building relationships, and customer engagement and conversions. The research in the past studied the self-esteem, ES, marketing outcomes. What is ES marketing outcomes? And consumption getting influenced by social media. The study undertaken so far fails to address factors of needs and motivations collectively. Background of the study. Wait, yeah, background of the study. Social media. Web 2.0, which I know what that means, led to the invention of social media between 2000 and 2010. Internet 2.0 has introduced many two-way platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and YouTube. The applications of social media or Web 2.0 allow users to interact and share as well as produce content using these platforms at individual and organizational level. The people employed in social relationships with other people have expectations of receiving social rewards from interaction. Facebook is significant for making the strong association between social capital and Facebook users. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I see these comedians, these up and coming comedians using paying mad money. And some just get lucky, word of mouth, yada yada yada. But they paying mad money to sit up there and get a whole bunch of likes. Does it work? Not all the time. The article has highlighted growing popularity for social media for consumers and its impact on marketing strategies. You want to know why I know they're paying mad money? Because if Donald Trump Jr. was complaining years ago, before I even knew who these comedians were, about how Facebook would take their money to advance, like this is what Donald Trump Jr. said. He would put money into promoting on Facebook and get a minimum amount of followers. So I know if they're getting that amount of followers, they're putting thousands into their daggone craft. I barely put hundreds into it. You know, I I cut corners, yeah, but I don't. Damn. So I kind of read that. Wait, here we go. Sorry about that, y'all. So we stopped right here where it said the study undertaken so far fails to address the factors needed for motivation collectively. And then I went to background of study, but I didn't go down here. So we're stopping right here at collectively and picking it up right here. From content analysis of Facebook posts from MAC Cosmetics, Clinique L'Oreal, Maybelline, and other types of social media tools used more frequently by these brands for connecting with their users. The prime purpose of using social media platforms is needs, not wants, but needs. These are I never read this before. These are popularly used to search, maintain, locate network. The research has examined consumers' preferences for different social media campaigns. Yeah, media campaigns, and see the impact of positive and negative word of mouth on consumer campaigns identifications. The attacks that have negative messages receive contrary word of mouth. The study undertaken by Aurora and Sani provides a review for investigating the usage of social media marketing concepts. Okay, do I keep reading down and then back up? I think I do. Left all the way down and then back up. Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. The motivation needs to have a specific hierarchy in every individual. For finding out the factors that motivate a person to do better in life and work and understand what encourages us the most, psychologist Abraham Maslow in 1934. How you going to know that in 1934? Postulated Maslow pyramid or theory of human behavior. This model describes different levels of fulfillment of needs. This theory is being used as a tool predominantly in human resource related activities in different corporate setups. Maslow's classified necessities into the five-tier pure pyramidal pyramidal structure, that is hierarchy of needs. According to this pyramidal structure, a higher level need is significant than the lower levels of obligation. He further emphasized that skipping a degree is not possible at all. The levels are as follows. This is what a psychologist developed. Physiological, food. You need food. You need shelter. You need getting something, some type of salary, and so on. These are considered basic needs and all fall under the ambit of physiological needs. Safety. This includes security, safety, and stability. For example, a permanent job provides stability and secured life for a person. Love and belonging. This includes close bonds, recognition, compassion for other people, and affection. Employees give time to social contacts with colleagues only if they find their jobs to be secure. 4. ES. What the hell is ES? Didn't I put that, ask that already? Yeah. In Maslow hierarchy. I know what self-actualization is, but let me read this. It's called ES. This includes needs for recognition. Example, apart from salary, praise, confidence, and independence, these are essential motivators for an employee. Positive transformational motivation, no, transformational leadership. And that is what we do for a job. We get negative feedback and punishment, usually at McDonald's jobs and low paying jobs. Negative feedback, such as your pay get cut, or your hours get cut, or you get cut, and a transformational leadership job would be, you recognize your employee, and apart from the salary, you praise, you give them confidence and independence to talk to you about business related things. And those are essential motivators for an employee. Self actualization, AC. I swore I met this level, but I haven't. But this level describes a development needs. Example, individual employees are overtly enthused when they get an opportunity to undergo specific courses or studies, and then they get ample of appreciation from work and effort for their work and effort. Celebrities increase fan followings by social media. They also use it for private messaging. Esteem, oh, esteem. ES is esteem or self esteem, is the second last in the hierarchy. It is a significant way to get motivated to do better work. Although esteem comes from within, getting compliments and positive feedback from people around brings a positive feeling, which in turn brings increased esteem. The fourth level of the pyramid depicts the same. Muqaddas, Zenobia, and Nawaz show that esteem is amplified by the use of social media. Instant gratification on Facebook or Instagram raises morale and brings about a positive impact psychologically. Then why is Mark Zuckerberg always in court with dumb stuff, man? Like, there's way worse stuff that we used to do before Facebook was ever created. And now people is just trying to find a, outlet. Yes, it's like a hub to dark web items. But don't get mad that your child behaves differently. Change what your child do. Don't blame Facebook, technology. You limit what your child do. It's just a quick monetary way to get paid. It helps. I wouldn't do it. It is so helpful that I remember when I first got back. I'll just say when I first got back, I had to do it in increments because I had so many pages. And it took me some months to recover. It took me like 2 months to fully get online like this. But it really helped psychologically. However, it also helps technologically, technologically. And yeah, like it enhances the confidence, providing a sense of freedom and self-identity. Galler pointed out that teens easily suffer from lower self-esteem. It's because of who they're hanging around while on that free flow Facebook. They can get into so much trouble on Facebook. I don't even go looking. I was a troublemaker on Facebook. You know, I had my very first Facebook page taken, like very first, when Facebook first got in. So I understand the environment where they see beautiful women and maybe they're overweight or they're underweight or they don't carry the characteristics of that woman. You know, they're 13. Then you have a adult man that comes in and be like, "Oh, well, you're beautiful to me." That's how that goes. So, whose fault is that? That's the parents, not Facebook. You know who your husband and wife is messing with, right? You can find that out, but you can't understand what your child is going through and who they sleeping with. Why is it that is a sad thing? That is a very sad thing. Teens easily suffer from low ES due to several physical and environmental factors. Social media has helped them regain self-esteem and be physically and mentally healthy. In her study, it points out that there is a straight association between esteem and social media usage, particularly in college goers. The time spent on social networking and ES shows a direct relationship, stated by Chen and Lee. Thus, looking at the past researchers related to the above two aspects of Maslow's hierarchy and social media usage, we propose the following hypothesis for the study. The highest in the hierarchy is actualization. According to Maslow, it embodies the development of an individual towards satisfaction of the most top needs. In Maslow's pyramid, the requirements have been depicted to follow a linear, a straight growth. Accordingly, when an individual attains the basic needs, the individual reaches a state of actualization or self-satisfaction. That's true. Chow and Lim added that actualization or higher levels of happiness is a result of social media usage. Given AC a lot of names, evaluated Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory and recommended that invigorating pleasure is one of the 10 initial human needs, which is the feeling we get when we see receive a plethora of enjoyment and joy instead of feeling jaded. I don't even want to go there with jaded. Waterman, Swartz, and Conti also suggest that happiness has two philosophies. That is hedonia. Dang. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. According to the hedonic view, happiness, and this is a philosophy, happiness is possible through the quest of pleasure, amusement, and relaxation. In a eudaimonic view, the pursuance to use or develop the best in oneself take place. Wow. Further, eudaimonia is moving towards self-fulfillment, which is comparable to actualization. Huda or Hutta and Ryan noted that actualization could be associated with a more frequent ultimate experience. Waterman indicated that philosophically was not verified to be found in the hierarchical format following Maslow's law. It was not verified to be found in the hierarchy format following Maslow's law. Um, got it. Thus, this study aims to find linkages to age, gender, profession with what is LB means. I know ES is a student and AC is actualization. Lower basic. To summarize the proposed hypothesis of study, lower basic needs predict esteem in social media adoption. If I have another scenario, if you are a young adult and you have no money and you get acquainted with someone your age that is breaking the law, this is going to affect your esteem to the degree you are going to do anything to that degree of getting money. Or, like me, my basic needs right now, knock on wood, God bless America, God bless dimensions, and so on. It is met, not super highly, but enough reasonably, and that affects my esteem in social media. If I always had lousy things happen to me, and I do get a lot of lousy things happen, but I don't bring them to the surface. I may talk a lot about the same stuff, but it's therapeutic. So I do that, but if something happens to me from here on out, I don't even sit up there and address it. I just be like, you know what? Oh well. I'm not, because once I see what they mean when they say it's like adding fuel to the fire. It's like adding fuel to the fire. Literally, I talk and then a fire ensues. Esteem predicts actualization in social media adoption. The need for positive wholeness, good self-esteem can create self-actualization in social media. Yeah, that is true. Actualization predicts usage intensity and social media adoption. I always before I even read this, I used to be like, I've reached self-actualization. I used to always talk about Maslow, which is funny. I would say, I've reached self-actualization, but now that I got a more refresher in depth, look at it. No, I have not reached self actualization, but I'm seeking it. We're never quite there. I was told no one actually reaches it, even when, and that's when Trump comes in and say, find something you love to do that makes you happy. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hello? Second on recorded line. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm actually the only reason I didn't pick up is because honestly I was online doing a show about you guys right now. Oh, you're doing like a podcast or something? Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to call you during that. I was just going to tell you, you're good to go. I mean, you logged on yesterday. Looks like you submitted an assignment. You're fine. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're totally fine. So don't worry about not missing that. You're a master's student. You already knew what you were doing. Okay. Okay. All right. Go do your thing. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I had to answer that. I didn't want to leave her hanging. Try getting it out. Try getting it out. I'll get it out. I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this. Hold on. I got to get back on. No, it's slowing down. Don't slow down on me, baby. Okay. So, age 41, gender female, profession CEO of my own podcast, affects lower basic needs, esteem, and AC and social media. That's true. Depending on the age, depending on the gender, profession, affects your lower basic needs, such as belonging, money, esteem. It affects the way you feel, um, and whether you are seeking self actualization within social media. Objectives to the study. The focus of the research is to map Maslow's hierarchy factors with social media adoption, that is, Facebook. The article further investigates the influence of Maslow's need theory on social media adoption. The study proposes social media adoption model. Methodology, the method, the study of the method. The article uses the descriptive research design to find out the impetus of using social media, particularly Facebook, by mapping the construction of Maslow's hierarchy. The different popular social media platforms are Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and YouTube. Yeah, that sounds. WhatsApp, I have that. Um, Facebook is the leading social media platform with around 2 billion users, and it has users with close relationship. The study has considered Facebook as the social media platform, and the survey instrument was a structured questionnaire. Okay. Okay. The study has considered Facebook as the social media platform. The survey instrument was a structured questionnaire. The framing of items of the survey owes to various researches on social media usage intentions, which had a mention in the review of literature section. The study has three parts. The first section has items related to social media usage concerning Maslow's need of hierarchy. The second section is typically consisting of demographic variables such as age, gender, qualification, and profession. The third section has two items to show social networking usage pattern, namely time spent on Facebook. The items expecting the demographic variables were measured in 5 points Likert scale. Exploratory factor analysis was employed to identify the factors which can be associated with various levels of Maslow's hierarchy. Further confirmatory factor analysis, now you say what they are, was performed to verify models by structural equation modeling, SIM. Survey method was used to collect data, and the sampling techniques used was the judgment sampling. And I wanted to say something, but I stopped myself. And the primary criteria for getting the responses we're asking for, the study had for the whoa, wait. Okay, so we go back up. I don't know how far. Not that far. We'll just start from here and then we'll finish with these right here, like later. So it says right here the answers from respondents with an active Facebook account. And it starts, let's start from, wait. The survey method was used to collect data, and sampling technique was used for the judgment of sampling. And the primary criteria for getting the responses were asking for the answers from respondents with an active Facebook account. Interestingly, it was found that many individuals do not have a Facebook account for various reasons, such as security issue, wastage of time, distraction from work, and academics. And even some said that instead of Facebook, they look for social networking on LinkedIn or Instagram. The article had sample data of 287 respondents, and the sampling area is North India. The total sampling size was 310, but the field data for the analysis was 287. The study has employed SPSS, and the techniques are EFA and CFA, which is, if I can do this, it's going to tell me. Wow. Exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, and structural equation modeling. The study has employed SPSS in the techniques of ESFA and CFA. Demographics of the sample size are shown in Table 1. EFA explained the number of the nature of factors, explaining the covariation between variables. Another reason for performing EFA was that researchers did not have concrete and adequate clues to form a hypothesis. Demographics of the sample are shown in Table 1. EFA explained the number of nature. Give me a second, you guys. Bear with me 1 second. What is it? What's this one? Okay, cool. Okay, good. Now we can do this. EFA explained the number or nature of factors, explaining the covariation between variables. Another reason for performing EFA was that researchers did not have concrete and adequate clues to form a valid hypothesis about the number of factors underlying the data. The items with the eigenvalue 1 is the criteria of the study. Initial eigenvalues indicated that the first four factors explain 30.467%, 7.141%, 6.650%, and 6.278% of the variance. Now, if I had to say what is the median is the 6.650%. Total variance explained was 50 point, I guess that's the mode. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a mathematician. 50.536. Age. Let's look at the age. So from 18 to 25, frequency is 99. What do you mean by frequency? Explain. You about to do it. But percent is 34.5. That's the highest. So anybody between 18 and 25 use from India use social media, which is the next round of generation of people. 26 to 30, frequency 78%, 27. It drops even as the age go up, it drops even more. 31 to 35, frequency 61%. And for the 61, and percent is 21.3. Ages, my age range, well, that's still not my age range. 36 to 40, frequency 23%, 8.0. It drops drastically and then it goes up by 11 points. So what this is the outlier right here. The 36 through 40. They're the lowest. But why? They better tell me why. Why? Family life? I don't know. Males 102, females nearly 200. This makes up 64% female and 35% male. Graduate qualification. 162 mixed genders for a whopping total of 56.4%. Postgraduate, after graduate, 121, 42%. PhD, whopping 4. Dang, you can 4 people, 1.4%. Private, 13, 4.5%. Government, 163. The majority of that is male, believe it or not. No way in India. 56.8. Oh, I got something to tell you guys. Now that we're here at government. I don't know if I told you this yesterday. Let me pause here. Pause, 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 pause. Oh my God. So I was reading something real quick. I wasn't even, I was reading, but I asked the question. I said, how many African American women is running for president and have run for president in history? And you won't believe it if I told you. You wouldn't believe it that one, one in every 700,000 run for president. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. What? I don't know what's going on. I may have to hold on. If it's doing this, then it's going to keep doing it. So I have to switch things. But one in every 700,000 runs for president. Now, it's in the hundreds how many women ran for 2028. But that's out of 350 plus million people. And that is a mixture of women of all races. But notably, 3 since the 1970s. 3 Black women. They were Democrats. And yeah. So imagine that. Oh no, I can't do this. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna go out and then come back in because there's no way I'm gonna allow this. I'm gonna try my luck. Hold on. It's gonna cut off, but I'm still live. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. I gotta do it to the okay, hold on. I knew that was gonna happen. That was short lived. Bear with me a second, y'all. But while I'm doing this, 1 out of 700,000 women. And so hundreds are on the FEC website legally. I got to give them a round of applause for that, for thinking outside of the box. But then my poor little heart says, well, what are everybody else doing in politics though? Wait a minute. Like I know it crosses their mind. I know it crosses their brilliant minds, like what's going on? And, I'm like, it, it's it's complicated. You have to think about it for a second. This is a hugely this is huge. This isn't something you play around with when you say you're running for politics. You have to back up something or have something different to offer than the next person to your left or right. And then that guy, I don't know his name, with no hairline, had a nerve to say Trump overstepped his boundaries. I've seen him on Sean Hannity a couple of times trying to talk junk. How dare you? You're way out of your league. You're way out of your league. I wish I knew your name. You truly overstepped your boundaries. There's a time and a place. That's all I say. Back to the story. Trump shouldn't have been at the NBA. He has Trump towers. What do you have? And he shouldn't have been there at the NBA. Yeah, he got booed. Everybody ain't gonna like him. However, he shouldn't have been there at the NBA. He was overstepping his boundaries, Republicans. Whoever watches 13,000 people plus people watch my show. Republicans of all statures. He had a nerve to say Trump overstepped his boundaries. It had me rolling. I said, am I actually seeing this guy overstep his boundaries? Just a little bit. He's created Vandenberg Space Force, and you're taunting him. And you're running for president. I like to see how far that goes. Thank you for the contribution. Me, I've contributed $50 to my contribution. $50. You're a millionaire most likely. So I like to see the contribution that you would be able to contribute. What was Don Lemons running for president, y'all? And I ran first before they even started entertaining that. Everybody want to run once I run because I came as I am, and now they're trying to pretend to come as they are, and I'll leave it there. So, business, housewife, student, years of being on Facebook, time spent on Facebook. The study had performed like I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We're going to get through this, but I would like to say one in addition to that. You want Don Lemon, or however you pronounce your name, his name, your name, his name, as president. What will he do? What will he represent? What has he done? since 2024, prior to that, U.S. Senate, state Senate candidate, now presidential candidate, advocating for cops, advocating for veterans, advocating for um, practically decapitated veterans, all veterans of all walks of life, advocating for more space, readily available, reasonable people being able to go out of space to a degree. And if they go outside of a certain part of the universe, they have control of the vehicle, the outer space vehicle. But if they go outside of certain galaxy part of the ring, because it's probably a certain parameter, it'll turn around and let them be around the area that only, to prevent deep space type stuff. However, I have a plan. Whether I win or lose, I have a plan. It's not about winning. It's about creating something positive for a person to understand why you decided to run. All while being yourself. What are you running for? What are you going to do to help the community? You went into churches. You not only went into churches, you mocked God, and now you're running. And this other key player, which is not really a key, I would rather be evicted to be a key player with him, had a nerve to say Donald Trump need to hang it up. He doing too much. I'm running for president. What are you doing other than shaming a white man? Does that make you feel like you better? Start spitting actionable. Sorry, I have to say this face to face with y'all. Start spitting actual positive, actionable items that you will do for the future of your world, which that is a lot to hold in your hand. You, sir, I don't even know who you are, your name. But you as president is unrealistic. Me as president could be more realistically thinking than you, because all you did is say you were running and then talk junk about Trump, which makes no sense. You're diverting. So you become president and then you divert some more. Don't talk about Trump. Do your job and talk about why you are running, not just to get that title. You have no idea, both of you have no idea what you are doing. Stick to NBC or wherever you come from, in basketball, wherever. Stick to that. And maybe you should stick to talking junk. That's where you belong. Maybe you should get on TikTok and start dancing like me. Yeah, I think it's appropriate. Or maybe you should just straight up work at Popeyes. I don't know. That's what action I see. The manager. Okay, the manager at Popeyes. You got a high situation. That's high stakes right there for you. Can you handle that? Let's continue now. You keep referring your friends. Hold on. I'm not, wait. Keep going. Okay. We got to go back up though on this one right here and scroll back up to methodology. You keep referring your friends to other links on Facebook to be to their friends list. 0.579 loadings. Factors. Now, I would love to know what you are talking about. I can read this whole thing, but these are the factors on loading, and these are basically the data. So let's look. I want you to see this. I may not, not every number I know. I don't know this whole daggone thing. That would be really reasonable, but unreasonable. I don't know everything, but I can catch on very quickly. So it starts act like I was saying, action. He say he want to be president. Usage intensity. He gets on multiple shows talking about Trump. Every time he gets on Sean Hannity saying little sly comments, oh, I don't belong there, Mar-a-Lago with you. Then why pay to get on another man's channel to talk junk? Mm. So usage intensity, profession. He he used to be a spokesperson for NBA, or he is. His age is old, moderately old, but not like super duper old. I don't know if he gets love or belongingness. He's a male. Has he reached self actualization? He's reaching it. Whether I don't want to let my emotion cloud whether this man is reaching self actualization. Self esteem, probably bothersome, very bothersome. Having low self esteem, your self esteem is an emotion, a positive emotion or negative emotion. You have to learn how to use it and when to use it. You got to learn both feelings so you can know which feeling is suitable for you, because we get adapted to low self-esteem tactics. I've done it. And it's like, this guy obviously has low self-esteem because he got to make Trump feel low. And now that he knows who's in the audience, but Trump always has a plan, but he knows who was in the audience booing at him. He thought he would come in and save the day and look good. And the people that were booing him be like, oh, I like this man. That's how they do. And he's a black man. That's how it goes. I'm not saying black men are bad. I just talked about T.I. T.I. came from a bad place and he ended up recovering drastically. And he's getting out the game. Makes me sad a little bit. No, we're not talking about T.I. that done been through something. We're talking about people with their hand out forever, looking for a come up, looking for a quick come up. What have you given to the community other than the bare minimum? I can guarantee it. What, you supported the black community? Y'all always saying y'all supporting someone in the black community. I could just say in the nicest words, then why are there still people in the trap house? I'm tired of hearing what your pockets aren't doing for the communities out here. Think about it for a second. The trap house, Berry Farms, DC, before Trump. People are dying. You got money to help them. Not only help them, but educate them the right way. And you steering them the wrong way by hating on the president. Choose your battles carefully. And I'm going to end it there. So that's the whole spill on this person. One last thing. Someone who loves and belongs will never sit up there and allow themselves to get to that point where they're negatively talking about someone in that type of way. It's something lacking. The only reason Trump do it is because they do stuff to him. Do you think he wanted to get rid of Pam Bundy? Do you really think he wanted to get rid of an asset? So where are we at? Model fit assessment. SIM is the term we require studying complex variable set. It helps in knowing the underlying associations and the latent variables among the variables. It also serves to determine how the theoretical model represents relevant systems and the data supports them. According to Malaki, Sugawara, and McCollum, Dean, Balancer, and Harlow. That's a lot of people. And Swamala, Angel, Moosbrugger. This is a way to estimate relationships between the primary constructs. According to the model, what is it? Lower basic created by the use of social media led to extinguished basic needs created by the use of social media, yeah, lead to esteem, which help, which in turn helps reach actualizations in terms of, yeah, I remember, but I don't remember exactly about the philosophy of hedonic stimulus. Further, another hypothesis states that actualization and esteem predict usage, intensity, age, gender, and profession impact the three variables. Amos 20 was used to analyze the model fit. The first step was to evaluate whether the data fit in a theoretical model. Thus, CFA was used. The article considered chi-square degrees of freedom. I've never seen that. I mean, it looks familiar, but not like that. Comparative index fit, goodness of fit, adjusted GFI, Tucker-Lewis index, incremental. Wow, this is pretty cool. Wow. You know, I'm no theorist, but I see a pattern. It's pretty cool. I notice a pattern with everything. Null hypothesis, which is the hypothesis model, has a good fit. The values thus obtained by performing CFA indicators that all the items above are significant, or the significant value of 0.5 point according to the Bolin or to Bolin. The higher value of X2 leads to a closer association between the hypothesized model and the model fit. I've never seen a graph like this before. You know what I have seen like this before? You can't, he said, sorry, he said you can't jump a hierarchy. That's what I see. So right here to the left, you see the circles. Those are the models. Those are the hierarchy models. So you got lower um basic needs, you got esteem, and you got actualization. So you got esteem one, and you got different graphs and different numbers beyond that that shows the different points. And if you look at it in a weird way, you can say that you, in this 1932 Maslow's psychologist saying, the lower basic needs in conjunction with social media now. I already explained that part. But it's in sections. Ah! Oh, that could have fell right in there. So you got like actualization one, which on a scale is 1.001.23 on this scale. And there's some other stuff that's in there with it. The stuff that we read about GFI and all that extra stuff. Hmm. Path fit model. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I get it. Do I master it? No, I don't master it. But I get the graph, the model. Path model fit. Next, I got the concept. Next, the study conducted the structural model using the Amos 20 to test hypothesis. The hypothesis formulated as shown in figure 2. The sim is considered, and the premise relate to the pattern of causal structure linking several variables that bear on the construct of AC. In reviewing the sim path model, it indicates that esteem a path impacts the actualization. Further, lower basic needs influence esteem. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was saying that, because I read it constantly. AC predicts usage intensity, age, gender, and profession act as a control variables. All these paths reflect findings in the literature. See figure 2 indicates the structural portion of SEM. The process of forming the structural model rationality follows guidelines adopted by measuring the model. The article computes new SEM estimate coverings matrix, which is different from the measurement model. The measurement model assumes that all constructs are correlated in a structural model. The relationships between some constructs are considered to be zero. And it starts right here. The model also provide a reasonable model fit for the structural model. Hence, the proposed research model fits the data reasonably. The article undertakes the path analysis of the following variables: gender, age, and profession, unobserved indigenous, endo, endogenous variables, LBESAC. The hypothesized research model exhibit a good fit with observed data as mentioned above. Outer, inner. All hypothesized paths are significant and hence supported. The unstandardized regression weights, which corresponds to the B coefficients in the output and results of the hypothesis testing, provided support for hypothesis H1 through H4, T square XDF. That's a lot of data. They use all these indices, these fit indices, CFI, GFI, 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 NFI, IFI, TLI, and got a result and a value in the people who did the studies. And these are more, and these are the results of that. What's pretty cool about this, you guys? I don't know what I'm looking. I've seen the abbreviations. I got a concept. X2. I want you to see. I want to zoom in as far as I can. X2, right here. Can I go right here? That specific title holds a bunch of questionnaires and data because it's 287 people in India. So that specific indices have a definition which specifies as questions, 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 questions. And then they come up with this, the data. They had to come up with it from somewhere. You just don't get numbers unless you ask questions and you base it on a point system. I don't know how that point system is. And based on, you know, the defined indices, the definition of each fit indices, you come up with a number. Based on the control, the age, the profession, and the gender. Now, ask me, do I know exactly how I'm looking at this? No, I don't. But that's what I know, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Discussions. The results of data analysis reveal some fascinating facts about linking Maslow's theory with social media usage. The items of the factor LB fall in line with Tosted and Stokes, who refer emotional belonging to as an intimate feeling between individuals in emotional contact, including contact strength and moral support. Okay, so Sinclair and Dowdy have suggested that emotional belonging leads to identifying closeness in a group and develop a better interpersonal relationship. Bear with me. Yeah, it's so funny. Hold up. Let's see. Back to the story. Sinclair and Dowdy have suggested that emotional belongingness leads to identifying closeness in a group and develop better interpersonal relationships with others. Writings in Geffen propose that virtual community seeks social support to get motivated to join a SNS, which is another term for something. As per the analysis result, the age does not impact LB, lower basic needs, but gender. Mm. So age does not impact basic needs, but gender and profession affect lower basic needs. The most probable reason for finding, since the study focuses on social media usage, it indicates that most aged people are not seen to be using social media and ending. I saw that. Instead, the working individuals are more into social media due to their constraint on time to link with their friends and peers. Thus, the parameter is hugely impacted by gender and profession, not by age. The third factor is actualization? According to Maslow theory, actualizations reveal the need for inspired self-development in terms of one's potential toward a goal and meaning in life. In social media usage, AC relates with particular functional motives that people view as other types of personal fulfillment, which is the philosophy eudaimonic, hedonic, and subjective well-being normal. The current study goes in line with Kendrick, Rickus, Newby, and Schaller described in AC. According to them, it is more about it's weird. Status seeking. The items and the factors are this factor significantly the same. So according to the results of the analysis, AC is not impacted of any three control variables: age, gender, or profession. Every individual tends to look for status and well-being irrespective of age, profession, and gender. Three factors mentioned above show relationship hierarchy. The fulfillment of ES, which is esteem, and AC leads to amplification of social media usage. If a person need for gratification increases, which in turn ends up instant gratification, social media usage will also increase. But the negative coefficient value also is suggestive that AC actualization is negatively predicting intensity of social media usage, this which means higher the status of that person, the less will be the social media. The article suggests that factors of gratification and status seeking are the two prime factors for intense uses of social media sites. It also substantiates the finding of Raymer, which says that there is direct relationship between esteem and social media usage. Those are more datas. It's beautiful. The more AC needs to be satisfied. Wait, no, right here. Social media adoption model. The social media adoption model has been developed based on a structural model in figure 3. Figure 4 depicts that the more AC need to be satisfied, the social media usage becomes less. And their study also suggests the same, Waba and Brewell. So the companies who are willing to promote social media adoption must focus more on customers with lower basic needs and esteem needs. Implications and limitations. The companies can make use of the suggested model in the study for launching their various marketing campaigns. The proposed model will be useful for e-learning, which is online learning, education learning, whatever, companies to find the right online strategies for their participants. In the right path model, the regression weights of factors are on different scores and provide a significant study for the researchers. The elements of Maslow's hierarchy have strong linkage with social media adoption. Thus, it offers insights to researchers on consumer psychology concerning social media platforms. This study also adds new linkage of Maslow's theory and social media usage in a pool of literature available to study social media usage. Majorly, studies show that there are strong linkages between social media usage and the technical acceptance model, extended technical acceptance model theory of reason action, and theory of plant behavior. Hmm. Thus, this is the first study to take Maslow's theory into consideration, which is hierarchical which is a hierarchical approach to map social media usage, which is a multidimensional approach. This study was conducted on a limited population with 287 to find what drives to adopt with social media and for what purpose. If the same needs investigation in general, a broader community is taken into account. The study applied in a database on Facebook platform for examining the linkage of Maslow's hierarchy and social media adoption. Conclusion. The study concludes the linkages of factors of Maslow's hierarchy need vary with social media usage. The elements of Maslow's theory, ES, AC, LB, act as the motivators and leads to the person's willingness to be on social media. The article depicts that the more AC needs is satisfied, the social media usage become less. Waba in their study also suggested the same, so the companies who are willing to promote social media adoption must focus more on customers with lower basic needs and esteem needs. AC is negatively predicting intensity of social media usage, which means higher the status of the person, the less will be the social media usage. The article suggests that lower basic and esteem are two primary factors for intense usage of social media sites. The study further attempts to offer additional insights into existing literature related to psychological studies, human behavior, and social. That is so interesting. The model is useful in evaluating consumer behavior in terms of their needs, which are quite helpful in increasing social media usage intensity. This study further suggests for the scale development for evaluating intentions and reasons for social media usage. The further scope of this article lies in verifying whether other social media platform usage follows these three parameters as a primary impetus for their adoption and usage. The updation on Maslow's hierarchy theory can also be taken up for further research in the future. These are the authors. India. India. Let me pronounce their names at the least. I have to read about them. Sanchia Ghatak has completed her doctoral studies at Lucknow University from the Department of Psychology, which is very hard. That's like a dissertation on top of a dissertation. So she is now a psychologist. She is a postgraduate in computer application, masters of a computer applications from Maharishi Dayanath University, Rohtak, and all these other words. She has 16 years of teaching experience in management at UG and PG levels and 6 years of corporate experience. She is certified in digital marketing, platinum certified in data analytics, and certified in cognitive psychology. With A++ batch topper from Guidance City. She is an impaneled instructor for digital marketing with Tata Institute of Social Sciences. She is a life member of Indian Society of Training Development, Lucknow chapter. Her areas of expertise include advanced managerial Excel, descriptive and predictive analytics, data analysis using SPSS, digital marketing, graphic design, data and analytics using SPSS/R, and AMOS. She has conducted trainings in many reputed organizations and educational institutions. She has been invited for talks on alternative career options by Gyan Connection and Indian House Center and Hope Initiative, Doorsman, Uttar Pradesh, and Live Today. She can be reached at Sharabi Singh. Is a PhD at AMU ADIM PGDBA Marketing. MCA MCOM in International Certification in Marketing Analysis, Digital Marketing, and Neuromarketing, with an experience of 18 years in academics, research, teaching, training, consultancy. She currently is associated with IMS Gazabad as Associate Professor in Marketing. She was the recipient of Second Best Case Award from UK-based Case Center for Case Writing in 2014. She also received Second Best Paper Award in National Conference in India in 2011. Women Achiever Award for Excellence in Marketing and Education at Indian Women Convention on 29th April 2017. Second prize trophy ICHRIE Johnson and Wells Case Study Competition, from the US. At Barcelona, Spain, she received the Best Woman Researcher from Miss Shabana Amazi at Women's Leadership Conclave in 2018. She has recently completed the research project at AIM and Shilley Foundation September 2019, and she could be reached. The next step, it's due on the 14th in 4 days. The next step is the fun part. The next step, when I get back on here, now that I've read it in its entirety. What I'm going to do is another projected time is sometime today. I'm just going to get on here and do the project. Start it at least. Get at least 40% done. That way I can sleep on it and reread it to see what I need to do differently. So that'll be done today, and I will see you guys another time. And then I also have an interview. It's a 30-minute interview at 4 p.m. So I want you to be prepared for that. So it's a great day today. It's actionable day. And hopefully we can squeeze in writing people on camera without having to write them off camera about Matchmaker FM. So I got a lot on my plate I have to do. And I hope you can enjoy me today by being with me through this experience for the rest of the day. So take care, be safe, and I will see you guys next time at 4 p.m. or sooner. Take care, be safe. Bye.